Hey, what's up, Good Life? Thanks for joining me for today's 128 moment. You know, in times like these, we can allow what we read in the news to determine the way we see the world. Now, I know the press plays an important role. Their role is to report on the events in our environment. They're to look at the thermometers in our world and tell us what they see. Now, in times of crisis, though, those thermometers are a lot less reliable. Everyone, press and non-press, we're stuck in the fog of the now, and that's understandable. But we also have to understand that everyone sees the world through a lens called bias. So the thermometers in our lives are not always that reliable. But that's not news and that's not new. So we have to be careful which thermometers we'll listen to. Just because, two words are similar doesn't mean they're the same. Thermometers are called to report on the temperature. But thermostats, they control the temperature. The problem is this, is that in the climate of our current crisis, we can get those two things confused. We can easily allow the thermometers in our lives to become the thermostats over our hearts. Now, our world has but one thermostat, one source governing every setting and every scene, and that thermostat is the sovereignty of God. He describes himself in Isaiah 46 this way. He says, "Remember this and stand firm. Recall it to mind, you transgressors. Remember the former things of old. For I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, things not yet done. Saying, my counsel shall stand and I will accomplish all of my purpose." The great creeds and the great confessions of our faith, they summarize God's sovereignty this way, saying, "The almighty, ever-present power of God still upholds and governs heaven and earth by his hand, with all creatures and plants, rain and drought, fruitful years and barren years, health and sickness, riches and poverty. Indeed, all things come not by chance, but by his fatherly hand." Everything that comes into our lives has come through the filter of God's hands first. And we can trust his hand because he's proven his heart. He sent his son Jesus to die in our place on the cross. And that beautiful act of love and our trust in the one who did it, that should be the thermostat of our hearts and lives in good times and in bad. But when we fill our hearts and minds with only the news of the day, we can lose sight of the one who upholds the universe, the one who sees through the fog of our times, and he knows exactly where they fit in his eternal plan. Now, Good Life, I'm not telling you to stop watching and reading the news. I'm encouraging you to view everything through the lens of God's sovereignty. He's the one in control of our world and our lives and everything in between. And let that comforting truth be the thermostat of your heart today and every day. I hope that encourages you today, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow at 128.